Get your day started the right way with Good Day Tampa Bay.
Right now at 9, Tropical Storm Milton forms in the Gulf of Mexico and could rapidly intensify into a hurricane with Tampa Bay in its crosshairs.
Plus, keeping the floodwater out, local emergency officials announcing sandbag locations ahead of the tropical storm where you can find them.
And as FEMA urges Floridians to prepare for the next storm, the agency opening registration assistance site for those hit hard by Helene. We will show you where to find help. Good Sunday morning and welcome to Good Day Tampa Bay. I'm Matthew McClellan.
And I'm Mariah Harrison. Let's get right over to Val with an update on where things stand with Milton. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you both. We are continuing to track a intensifying storm in the Gulf of Mexico, and we actually have an area of low pressure that's ahead of Milton that's already causing this rain that we're seeing across the state. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. You can see all of this activity streaming in right now for parts of the state, and as I zoom out more, there's Tropical Storm Milton still kind of hugging far west in the Gulf of Mexico, but things are still on track with that storm to strengthen and become a major hurricane by Monday or Tuesday. Flood watches, those go into effect this morning at 11, and they last right on through Thursday morning, because not only are we expecting heavy rain from Milton, but we're going to be talking about some rounds of heavy rain possible today and on Monday with that first system that I was just mentioning to you. So ground's already very saturated, and all of the rain on the way is certainly going to be a concern, but the worst of the weather for us, that is going to start late Tuesday and most of the day on Wednesday. That's when we are anticipating landfall along Florida's west coast. As for today, we're going to be talking on and off rain, locally heavy at times. As highs today, they're going to top out in the upper 70s to low 80s. But of course, all eyes on the Gulf of Mexico. We're expecting hurricane watches, tropical storm watches, or rather storm surge watches to be issued today. So we're going to have more updates to come, some critical updates today and again on Monday. So make sure you're checking back for all of the latest. I'm going to have all of the details coming up in my full forecast in just a few. Matt?
Thanks, Val. And as we just heard in that forecast, Milton is on course for Florida, and it could slam into Tampa Bay.
Many areas, and communities are already bracing for severe weather later this week. Fox 13's Regina Gonzalez is live this morning with more on this. Regina, officials warning residents to get ready now. Do not wait.
Yeah, that's right, Mariah. And it's safe to say that people who have already lost so much are defeated. They are vulnerable. But unfortunately, now it is time to get in the zone and prepare for whatever Milton could bring us. We are actually going to be in a couple of hours at a press conference with the mayor of Tampa. We know that people are able to bring some of that debris to some of these garbage facilities. So we'll have more on that coming up in our later shows. Now is also the time to get those supplies ready, know your evacuation zones, and we know sandbag sites are also opening in basically every city and county in our viewing area, so be sure to check on those if that is something that you're going to need.
The Bay Area bracing for a double punch. Regina Gonzalez live on Milton Preps for us this morning. Thanks, Regina. Well, in the meantime, those looking to get sandbags in Pinellas County, the sites will be open there today. Residents can fill up their sandbags from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., and that is at John Chestnut Park, also at the Palm Harbor Walsingham Park.
And in Pasco County, sandbag sites are now open and available for residents. You can find them at the locations we're going to put on your screen here. They are Magnolia Valley Golf Course, Pasco County Public Works, Veterans Memorial Park in Hudson, and Pasco Fire Rescue Station number 29 in Zephyr Hills. All stations are self-serve. They are open to Pasco County residents. Sand and sandbags will be restocked daily.
Well, new this morning, the City of Tampa Parks and Rec facilities are closing starting tomorrow. They say all programming will be suspended until further notice as well. City officials also encouraging residents to get ready for more rain. Several sandbag locations are opening up across the city at locations like Himes Avenue Complex and at Al Barnes Park. Many across the city are still recovering from Helene. They tell us having to do this all again is stressful.
It's stressful.
Exhausted. Yeah, stressful, exhausted.
On the bright side, all of our personal belongings and floors and drywall are already gone. So now it's just a matter of keeping the water at bay.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, Hillsborough County also, they're activating 3 sandbag locations that happened last week. One is at the Larry Sanders Progress Village Sports Complex on 78th Street. There's another at the E.G. Simmons Conservation Park in Ruskin. And the third is at Ed Radis Sports Complex in Tampa.
And for those in the city of Venice, a self-service sandbag station is set up at City Hall and at Venice Public Works. There is a limit, though, of 10 bags per vehicle. Bradenton is also taking precautions. Sandbags are going to be available for residents at the Public Works Annex from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. today. You are limited to 10 bags per car here as well.
Well, an update on comfort stations now. In preparation for Milton, the following areas will close their comfort stations until further notice. That includes Pasco County, Hillsborough County, and the city of Tampa. Organizers there, they say they will return to the neighborhoods in need as soon as it is safe to remobilize. Now, once those comfort stations do reopen, the city of Tampa will offer free Uber vouchers for riders to their new locations. The Tampa Emergency Transportation Service offers vouchers for up to $25 off of a 2-round trip to and from the comfort station. This is to help residents who've lost access to personal transportation, and that's due to storm-related vehicle flooding. Now, this offer of free transport, it's valid through October 25th, and you can get it by visiting the link on your screen. That is tampa.gov/recovery rides, and then follow the instructions to sign up for that voucher. Also, a heads up for those who plan to visit the Insurance Village in Clearwater today. This was a one-stop shop that opened up on Friday for those needing assistance with filing their insurance claims from Hurricane Helene. Well, those operations are closed there today, and they're closing one day early. This is in response to now Tropical Storm Milton.
Ahead for us here on Good Day, North Carolina still pushing forward with its own hurricane relief efforts.
And the military is lending a huge helping hand. We'll explain coming up. Plus, one of the most high-profile murder cases in modern American history is back in the spotlight. And reality TV star Kim Kardashian has a lot to say about it.
So obviously they've got enough to deal with there in the states to our north after Helene. Fortunately for them, Milton will not be their issue. It will be our issue.
It will be our issue.
Yeah, Milton is certainly going to be a Florida issue. This is kind of just racing across the Gulf of Mexico, unfortunately, right for the West Coast. So the forecast thinking is still pretty much in line with what we have been kind of watching over the last 24 hours or so. So we're going to start with a check on satellite and radar, where things are quite active here across the state. We've already got a lot of rain moving in, and more of this is going to come. This is actually not yet from Milton, but we've got an area of disturbed weather that's just ahead of that in the Gulf of Mexico. So already a lot of this deep tropical moisture here. You can see kind of all of this already moving into parts of the Bay Area down to the southwest coast, and more of that just kind of continues to funnel in with a weak area of low pressure just kind of moving through the Gulf, and that's ahead of Tropical Storm Milton, which is kind of just to the south and west of this area of low pressure. So first we get this area that's going to keep us active today, tomorrow, then Milton on approach, and this I think will start to bring some bad weather for us Tuesday night, but really the worst of the weather that's going to be through the day on Wednesday. So for today, we're already cloudy, we're already cooler, and on and off we're just going to be dealing with these rain and isolated storms. With that, some locally heavy rain is certainly going to be possible. So already we have a flood watch in effect starting at 11 o'clock this morning, and that runs all the way through Thursday morning. As you know, this is not a good situation to be dealing with heavy rain ahead of tracking a tropical storm, soon to be a major hurricane on approach to Florida's west coast. So our latest model runs continuing to kind of curve this north and east, taking aim somewhere along the west coast of Florida. You can see a pretty decent spread anywhere from the Big Bend on the north side down to the southwest coast, right around the Everglades area. That's kind of where our models take it as far south of some of those runs. But there is pretty good consensus in kind of the middle part of the state, very close to Tampa Bay. And so you can see, based on those model runs, where this track map is taking it. It's important to remember, within the cone, that is where we could be talking about a landfall. So don't focus on this center line here, even though I know it's very tough to do, as Tampa now kind of right right in the middle of this cone. And so we're really talking about Wednesday to be the potential landfall. And at this point, a lot of models are indicating it's going to maintain major hurricane strength as a Category 3 hurricane just on approach to landfall. There's a couple other factors that we're watching. Some stronger wind shear up along the Gulf Coast, some drier air that maybe tries to work into that storm just ahead of landfall, and maybe that limits its strengthening even more. That would be a good case scenario. But regardless, we are talking about a lot of rain on the way for the state. And so we're going to continue to kind of fine tune exactly where that landfall would occur, because the key components that we're talking about is the worst of the storm surge on the south side of the storm. But then on the north side of the storm, we're still going to be dealing with the strong wind. And I actually think the heaviest rain will be north of the storm's center of circulation. So a small change in where it makes landfall can mean a big difference. And we'll continue to iron those details out. I think we'll likely see some hurricane watches, some storm surge watches drop today. We'll have those details to come by Thursday. We should clear this storm out and things looking better to end the week.
Okay, Val, thanks. Still to come, the holidays are on the way amid all this chaos we're dealing with now, and that could mean extra Christmas money for job seekers.
Yeah, major retailers are about to kick into high gear to hire their seasonal workers. Plus, one of the biggest secrets in Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants is the Krabby Patty secret formula. And in a few days, you can taste it for yourself at a Wendy's.
And your business headlines this morning. Job numbers making a huge leap in September, with several industries making the biggest contributions to hiring. The strongest gains in the leisure and hospitality sector. Food and drink establishments added 69,000 jobs. Meanwhile, healthcare payroll numbers up 45,000 and government jobs rising 31,000. Social assistance added 27,000 workers, with construction jobs making 25,000 hirings. Speaking of jobs, the holiday shopping season is getting close, and a lot of retailers like Amazon and Target are ramping up their hiring. Amazon says it'll hire about 250,000 full and part-time and seasonal workers, and stores like Target and Bath and Body Works, they say they will add 100,000 employees and offer current employees the chance to work extra hours during the holidays. Meanwhile, Dick's Sporting Goods is looking to hire nearly 8,000 seasonal workers for this year's holiday season. And some turbulence for budget airline Spirit. According to a report from the Wall Street Journal, this airline is discussing the possibility of filing for bankruptcy. The airline is also looking into restructuring its balance sheets as it struggles to combat declining revenue. Spirit's last annual profit came before the COVID-19 pandemic more than 4 years ago. Spirit is reportedly more than $3.3 billion in debt. To taste a Krabby Patty? Well, now's your chance, because it's coming from Bikini Bottom to the real world. In honor of the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants, Paramount and Wendy's are teaming up to launch the Krabby Patty collab. That's collab with a K. It features 2 menu items, a pineapple under the sea Frosty and a Krabby Patty collab burger. Both items will be available nationwide starting Tuesday for a limited time only, and I wince when thinking SpongeBob could possibly be 25 years old. Happy birthday, SpongeBob. Still to come, AI popping up everywhere. Even our glasses, our eyewear. Meta's new high-tech shades, they're going viral. We'll take you inside and show you why. Plus, a new debate over flight etiquette. There's always a flight etiquette debate, isn't there? This woman sparking a controversy over personal space with a new viral video.
All right, much more to come in our next half hour. One of the biggest issues after a hurricane is actually online. Officials are warning against misinformation when it comes to Helene relief. And meteorologist Valerie Mills will have a look at your Sky Tower forecast. She is tracking Milton for you. Stick with us.
Get your day started the right way with Good Day Tampa Bay.
Well, good day, Tampa Bay. Time right now, 9:30, and things are already rather gloomy out there. We've been dealing with these on and off showers, and we will continue to really today and the next couple of days. We're socked in this more active pattern ahead of what we are tracking to become a major hurricane on approach to Florida's west coast. So no big change in thinking with the 8 o'clock advisory recently coming out. We'll await our next advisory, and more updates will come as we continue to learn more about this strengthening storm. But ahead of that, we have a system that's going to be causing some rain here for us today, and already some locally heavy rain has been possible, and we have flood watches that are in effect through Thursday morning for all of the Bay Area down to the southern base of the peninsula, as we're going to be dealing kind of with these rounds of rain on and off through the day today. At times, some heavy rain will come down, and with that pattern will continue Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we flip over, and that's when we're really going to focus on some of that rain and some of the impacts starting from Tropical Storm Milton, which will then be a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. As for now, temperatures are going to be warming through the mid and upper 70s, but we're really going to top out right around 80 degrees on the high side for Tampa. So locations today, they're going to stay in the 70s. These cloudy conditions will continue. We're going to talk more details as we continue to track Tropical Storm Milton in the Gulf. I'll have those details in just a few minutes. Mariah.
Thanks, Val. Well, the death toll from Hurricane Helene continues to climb. More than 230 people confirmed dead from the storm, making it the deadliest storm to hit the United States since Hurricane Katrina. And as crews clean up across here in the Bay, across the Bay Area and all the way up through North Carolina, it's important that people be informed of what is actually happening on the ground.
Fox's CB Cotton tells us how folks are not just faced with the cleanup and that work, they also have to watch for disinformation. So you saw the video there with so many residents still cleaning up after Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and back here at home. FEMA is offering support to those impacted in the hardest hit areas. The agency's opened up 6 sites in Pinellas County where you can get help applying for federal disaster assistance that will pay for temporary housing, among other costs. And Fox 13's Jordan Bowen has more on the process and how hurricane victims can get help.
Just about 9:37 now, and we're stepping away from storm coverage to cover a few other headlines across the Bay Area. In Hillsborough County, a man is in custody following a standoff in Tampa. Just before 2:30 Saturday afternoon, police received a call about a man that was walking around armed. It was all in front of a home on North McDill Avenue. When police arrived, the man barricaded himself inside. You can see in the video where they tackle him to the ground. Well, after negotiations, they got the man to leave the home where he was arrested without very many issues.
Meanwhile, in Pinellas County, a SWAT situation leads to an arrest in Pinellas Park. This happened around 2 p.m. Saturday on 50th Way North. Police responded to an armed domestic disturbance, and when officers arrived, they found 2 female hostages. The suspect, Russell Rippey, whose mugshot we're working to show you here later on, he was inside and armed with an AR-15 style weapon along with several handguns. The SWAT team was able to get the 2 women out safely, and the suspect was arrested without injury, taken to the Pinellas County Jail. He's been charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. 9:38 and still to come, where are the best cities in America for foodies?
A new study says you're not far from one of them. We'll explain. Plus, take a look at these cute legs, and then we'll show you this cute face.
Look at that trot. Look at that trot.
Look at that trot. Meet our pet of the week when we come back.
Well, you guys, good Sunday morning. Things are going to be busy weather-wise the next couple of days, so make sure you're checking back with us for updates. We do expect some watches and some storm surge watches to be issued today, so more updates to come today, tomorrow. A lot of critical updates for Tropical Storm Milton. But checking out in Tampa, it is a bit gray, a bit gloomy. 78 the temperature. I think we hit 80 today with on and off rain, some locally heavy rain expected through Tuesday, but worst of the weather for us, that's going to be Wednesday when we anticipate landfall. I've got your full forecast coming up.
All right, you know what that means. It is our pet of the week, and her name is Gypsy.
Such a cutie.
Look how pretty she is. She's a purebred Great Dane. You really don't see this breed at a shelter too often. She's 8 years old, okay? Very well trained. She is house trained. She has spent time with children, and she is great with them. Great Danes are watchdogs, so she's very protective over the family and would make any companion or family very happy, we're told.
This beautiful coat that you see is called Merle. It's that gray with the black speckles. And look, can you see this? Is this Riot? She's actually sitting on the bench with me. Oh, she doesn't like the bench. Never mind. Okay. She's not sure where she wants to go, but she's 105 pounds of pure love.
It's like that sometimes, half on, half off. She would thrive best being the only dog in the home, but if you have another dog, you can bring it to the shelter for a meet and greet with Gypsy to see how they get along. The Humane Society of Tampa Bay opens at 10 a.m. They close at 5. I love that we're showing a dog who is an adult. A lot of people want a puppy, but there are so many benefits to adopting an adult dog. They are calm, they're settled, and they're so grateful when you give them a place to live.
Make the rest of her life really special. Yep. With love. Okay, now we did not have a pet of the week last week because of the storm, but Sherry telling us that the Humane Society has extended their pet pantry hours. So they used to be open only on Tuesday and Saturday, but they are now staying open 7 days a week as long as there is a need for it. And if you weren't affected by the storm, but you have any extra dog or cat food lying around, well, you can drop that off to them and they will make sure that it goes to someone in need, especially as we all kind of batten down the hatches and get our preparations in order for Milton. We cannot forget about prepping for the pets as well.
And our local shelters have said repeatedly, we are at capacity, we are past capacity. The thing not to do during a hurricane is surrender your pets. Do keep them with you, do evacuate with them. There are resources there, as we've just said, that you can help evacuate with your pet and they'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now is the time to brush up on your plans. Make sure you know if you're in an evacuation zone and where you would go. We've got a lot of resources online. I just posted a good link on my Facebook page where you can basically type in your address and see exactly your zone and evacuation routes and that sort of thing. But I do think it's interesting, you know, as we're really focusing on where this landfall may occur. And of course, Tampa Bay, we are right in the center of that cone. So I thought it was interesting to look back. When was the last time we had a landfall here? And it has been 100 years. The Tarpon Springs hurricane back in 1921. I was able to find this track map that the National Hurricane Center kind of put out after that. But you could see a very different track that we're seeing here. This one emerged from the Caribbean, curved right up to smack Tampa Bay, really made landfall right on Tarpon Springs as a Category 3. We saw peak storm surge in Tampa Bay around 11 feet. So that was an absolutely terrible storm for us. Last one in modern history where we've had a direct landfall. Will this happen for us? Not necessarily, but the threat is certainly there. And a lot of our models indicating kind of right around Cedar Key down to Everglades City. Those are the areas that it looks like the landfall is certainly going to occur within that zone. And so we're kind of just narrowing in on exactly where that landfall might occur because the impacts will change dramatically with just a subtle shift in where the landfall is expected. But you can see as we look at our wave heights forecast, still expecting a major hurricane as it spins just off our coast. This is paused here 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, and by then we'll be dealing with some big swells over 20 feet as far as where wave heights will top out along this storm. This storm is a lot smaller than Helene, but it is going to be directly moving across the Gulf of Mexico. So somewhere along the west coast, we're talking about a direct landfall from potentially a major hurricane if it's able to sustain its strength. As it gets closer to the coast, though, we do have a cold front that's going to be digging in, some stronger wind shear, and those are some factors that hopefully will limit this from kind of strengthening even more just ahead of landfall. But it certainly is a possibility. A lot of conditions favorable. It's moving over very warm water. It's in an environment of weak wind shear. And so it's already strengthened quicker this morning than we were anticipating. By Tuesday afternoon, 115-mile-per-hour winds and a major hurricane as that path kind of curves off to the north and east. We have that trough of low pressure that's really going to be guiding this storm. So a lot of our main models really kind of in line with each other. We keep that motion to the east. Then Monday, Tuesday is when it curves off to the north and east just ahead of approach to landfall. And you can see some of our major models, our European European, our GFS, and our Fox model all in pretty close agreement at this point, though there is still time for things to change once we really get a defined center of circulation. And as hurricane hunters continue to fly in and investigate these areas more, we will have more information to come today and even tomorrow. But the time frame we're focusing in on is late Tuesday night through the day on Wednesday. That's when we're talking about the potential for hurricane conditions, but most certainly tropical storm conditions, because the key with this storm is that wherever it does make landfall on the south side of the storm, we're going to have really tough storm surge, really life-threatening storm surge. And, you know, we could be talking that extending down into the Keys, even if it does make landfall well to the north of that. Meanwhile, on the north side of the storm, that's where we're going to focus in on the potential for some heavier rain. So area-wide, we're talking 4 to 8 inches, looking pretty likely, but it does look like some spots will be able to pick up on a foot of rain. So it's not just the storm surge threat, but all of that freshwater flooding is going to be a concern as well. And we're already dealing with the rain out there today. So ground's very saturated. Flood watch extends through Thursday morning, and then by Thursday that crosses the state, clearing conditions then once it emerges off the east coast of Florida. Matt.
All right, Val. Thank you. Where are the best cities for foodies to grab a bite to eat? Well, a new study says Tampa is one of them.
Yeah, this comes from a new list by financial website Wallet Hub. So the city, Tampa, came in 5th after 2 other Florida cities. Miami took the top spot, followed by San Francisco and Orlando, and Portland took 3rd and 4th respectively. Wallet Hub used several factors for the list, including diversity, affordability, quantity, and quality of the restaurants. I will say every time I open up social media, I do see something new popping up in Orlando or something that you know people need to discover.
For
like
Tampa,
Restaurant Rise.
For Tampa, somebody had a really good Cuban sandwich or a really good coffee.
Yeah, and they said put this on the list.
Yeah, come on. All right, still to come here on Good Day. Oktoberfest is happening in Germany, but you can still enjoy it without having to take the trip.
Yeah, one establishment in Tampa celebrating with good beer and good food. We'll tell you where.
You're watching Good Day Tampa Bay.
Welcome back. October means fall for many, but it also means Oktoberfest in Eastern European countries.
Fox 13 photojournalist Jason Wright takes us to Schiller's Deli to learn about this annual festival that's not just about the beer. That looked amazing. Well, the city of Tampa is planning to host a 3-day Oktoberfest celebration this coming Friday, weather pending. And to learn more about Schiller's Delicatessen and their Oktoberfest menu, visit our website. That, of course, fox13news.com under the We Live Here tab. All right, still to come, Keanu Reeves, the actor, picking up a new career.
Yeah, he's got a need for speed. He just hit the road for his professional racing debut. We've got to look at that coming up. Plus, Bravo's next reality show is all about the wives and girlfriends, wags, of the Kansas City Chiefs. But the big question is, will these two, Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes, go on camera? We have your answer, but you could probably guess.
Okay, we are in full-on planning mode now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to be jumping on our app and on our website at 11 o'clock for a full 30-minute show, just purely talking about Tropical Storm Milton, so tune in there for more updates.
Oh, we're all going to be watching. Val, thanks. And we want to mention here, this is our last weekend as the three of us. Mariah, you're going to be going on maternity leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow's my last day.
We sure are going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you guys. I'm still going to be up at the same time, just not here.
We're going to be checking in. She'll be back in January.
Yes,
you're not going
back in January.
And we can't wait to meet baby.
And she'll be here by then.
We'll see you guys next
Hopefully not during this hurricane. Have a great day.